Hey guys, so I'm going to make a quick video while the people I'm staying with are on a walk. I decided to pass on the walk tonight. I'm not feeling the best. Yeah, the last video I made, I was having a really good week and I was doing a lot. I'm thinking I overdid it a little bit, but I'm still trying to do a lot of things. I have tried to walk every day, a little bit at least. Today I got in maybe a mile. Yesterday I didn't get off bed. But yeah, things kind of turned for me. Sorry, there's papers. Today, my family doctor sent me to the urgent care where I've switched over to get my IV fluids so I don't have to go to the infirmary all the time. Or not the infirmary. I used to use the infirmary on campus. So I don't have to go to the hospital every time he wants me to get fluids. And they had agreed that, they could do it. And a lot of it was because I was just spending a lot of time at the hospital getting fluids and blood work and stuff like that. And each time I'd have to go through the emergency room, and some days I would have to wait like 4 or 5 hours to get anything done. And so the urgent care, I could go during the day and it would be faster. And today I went and I can't remember if I went this in one of the last couple of videos, that one of the emergency room doctors and a couple of the staff had decided that my symptoms were psychosomatic and that it was all in my head, and I was essentially subconsciously making myself sick. And I'm still not entirely sure how that could work with the lab results I've had and having positive tilt tests and all the all the tests that I've had come back, and I've had we know I have a hole in my heart. We know I have abnormal rhythms, stuff like that. And they had wanted me to see a counselor/psychologist, and I've seen one since my freshman year of high school, so 10 years. I really know my math, guys. But I've seen the same person for 10 years, and although I'm 6 hours away from home, I am very comfortable with the psychologist I see, so we Skype. Well, we didn't Skype before. We used a different program, like the G-Video or something like that. I don't know. But now we use Skype. And I think it works well because I don't have to get with someone new. I have someone I'm comfortable with, I can talk to. I hate having to change doctors. Sorry, my nose is like, allergies are about to kill me. I hate having to switch doctors, especially if it's something like this. This person knows a lot of what I've gone through, knew me before I got sick, has seen the impact being sick has had on me, knows my family, and for me that's that's what I want. I really hate having to switch to new doctors and you have to explain everything and then all of this. And so made me sort of mad that at this point I'm being accused of using the ER too much when I'm actually being sent by my physicians. And I don't think the people who look at this, they don't look at, all the categories or all the adding, sorry, I'm trying to think, like everything that builds into this, the reason I'm being sent. Well, a lot of the time I'm sitting at the doctor's office before I end up in the emergency room because I'm at the doctor's office and my heart rate's too fast or my heart rate's too slow or my blood pressure is way too high and I'm having some sort of hypertensive crisis. My potassium is too low and I need IV potassium or I need IV magnesium because it's too low. And it's all stuff that has to be done in the emergency room or as an inpatient at the hospital. So we always try to use the emergency room so I don't actually have to be admitted. But today I went to the doctor and I was in the middle of a hypertensive crisis. My blood pressure was 218 over 144. I thought I was dying. I've had a headache the last couple of days. Yesterday I felt really bad. My blood pressure was pretty low yesterday for most of the day. And my heart rate has not broken from its bradycardic episode. So I have been having a slow heart rate now for a month. And it's still in the 30s and lower 40s. Drinking a bunch of caffeine, which we think contributed to today. So I have to be really careful. But I got sent to the urgent care for fluids because they were thinking that that might bring down my pressure. And because sometimes it does, oddly enough for me. And I don't what really frustrates me is I was sitting at the doctor's office, and the doctor's office is part of the hospital. And I met with him last week. He's still drawing next week. He's going to be drawing blood. And they send me to the urgent care. They're part of the same practice in a way. I mean, they're all through the hospital. And the urgent care refused to see me. They refused to give me fluids, even though I was sent by a doctor. And what they told me was I have to meet with the social services lady at the hospital before they'll see me again. And I was like, well, I don't understand why. And apparently I have overused and abused the emergency room. And I have to have a psychological evaluation before they'll treat me. I do not mind having a psychological evaluation. What really got me was the nurse who said, well, they probably didn't treat you at the doctor's office because she's called them too. But that's not true. And I called the doctor and I talked to him after this. And he said that sorry, I'm looking at her name and her number, all her information, as I'm trying to formulate what I'm thinking. But I called I called him, and because I was just like, well, I saw him last week, and she was like, well, she called us like a month ago. And I was like, well, I saw him last week. I see him again next week when he's going to draw blood. And I just saw him today. He sent me over here. And she was like, well, I'm pretty sure that he's been called and told not to treat you as well. And I was like, well, I have my medical records with me, as I just came from the doctor's office. And I was just like, so we have documentation that I am having serious GI issues right now. And my blood pressure is very high. I mean, they wouldn't even take my blood pressure while I was sitting there. And I was like, and he has written you a prescription to give me fluids. And I ended up leaving without anything. And I came home and I called him, and he said that he ignored what the social worker told him. That being chronically ill, I don't have a choice in some of the things that I have to do. And it really made me happy that he was, sorry, my heart rate's beating funky. But he was just like, don't let her get to you. And I am going to call her on Monday morning. I could not, I could not get in the right frame of mind today to call her. After I found out about the fact that, she had been calling all my doctors and telling them not to treat me. And that they weren't to treat me until after I had a psychological evaluation. And I was just like, well, if you looked in my file, you would see that I see a psychologist. And, yeah. We'll see how that goes. And I really wanted to wait till Monday to see how the weekend played out. Like I said, I was in a hypertensive crisis earlier. My blood pressure was really high. It's dropped again. To, it was like 80 something, over 40. And I'm feeling pretty bad. It keeps spiking on me, and it keeps dropping. And I don't really understand why. And I have a horrible headache from it all. But they think a lot of it has to do with, I also was talking to the cardiologist today, and so he thinks a lot of it has to do with my heart rate's been so low for so long that my body's trying to compensate for it. So I have to call him back tomorrow. If my blood pressure continues to spike, he wants me to go to the emergency room. And after today's encounter with the urgent care, I'm thinking, an emergency room cannot deny you medical care. They are required to treat. But there wouldn't be anything that they could do. But if my blood pressure gets any higher, since I already have liver damage and kidney damage, and who knows what else at this point, I would have to go to make sure that it's not getting worse. But we'll wait and see what happens, because both the cardiologist and the doctor that I saw today are on call this weekend, so I can call them anytime I need to. The first time my blood pressure has spiked, and so if it continues to do this, we're going to have problems. A lot of problems. They keep testing me for different types of tumors and such. So we'll see. I'm going to enjoy my weekend the best I can. I'm going to be freaking out until I can hear from my parents. They had to evacuate their house for Hurricane Irene. Yeah. I'm going to watch some Harry Potter. have a Harry Potter marathon. I'll probably be up all night. So I am Harry Potter dork.